And start. My name is Suri Deitch, and I'm Dean of the School of Professional Advancement. And I'm excited to welcome you to this session this evening, or evening New Orleans time. I'm joined by my colleagues, Sheila Gold, Hope Anderson, and Ann Conlon, who's behind the scenes running the slides. And I just wanted to say, welcome to the session. Welcome to SoPA. We're glad that you're thinking about going back to school and that you're considering our school as the place to do it. And we look forward to getting to know you and learning more about your interests and desires when it comes to furthering your education. So thanks again for joining us, and I'll hand things off to Sheila.
Thanks, Suri. Welcome again, everybody. We're thrilled that you're here. We love talking about our school. So for us, this is really fun. I'm going to go over the first part of this presentation, a little bit about the history of the school, the undergraduate programs that we offer. I'll talk a little bit about our student support and our faculty. Then I'm going to hand over to Hope, who is going to talk about financial aid and tuition and the application process. And then we'll have a minute or two for questions. If you want to drop your questions in the chat in the bottom, we would love to answer your questions that way. Or if you prefer not to have your answers answered publicly, I will share my contact information at the end of this webinar, and you can reach out to me via email, and I'm happy to answer your questions that way as well. Either way, we're happy to get to know our students, connect with you all, and we certainly hope that we can make this process as pleasant as possible, and know that we're here to support you through it. So next slide, please. So a little bit about the School of Professional Advancement. Tulane University is made up of 9 small schools, one of which is the School of Professional Advancement. The university itself was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana. It was founded as a response to the yellow fever epidemic that was happening in the Gulf South. Here we are, fast forward, we're in another epidemic/pandemic. So what goes around comes around. But what's important for you all to know is that 50 short years after the founding of the university, the very first iteration of the School of Professional Advancement began offering classes. It was founded with the purpose of offering Tulane degrees to non-traditional and working adults, and that is still what we do today. So the majority of our students are students who have jobs and are going to school, or might be students who are getting their bachelor's degree after first getting a degree at a community college, or perhaps going to school, stopping, and then coming back to school to finish their degree. So any student who isn't sort of the traditional, I went to college right out of high school student, comes to the School of Professional Advancement. So we offer degrees and a lot of flexibility to help our students reach their educational goals. So why the School of Professional Advancement? We call it SoPA. We think it's a fun name and easy to remember. So why SoPA? Well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, it's a Tulane degree, and we're a top 40 university. We feel like the Tulane degree has a tremendous amount of value in the marketplace and helps our students get jobs. We also have a tremendous amount of experience and expertise in the online space. Many of our classes at the undergraduate level can be taken on ground or online. And our students like the online option because it creates some flexibility. You don't have to take all your classes online, but you certainly can do a mixture of both. And we do a really innovative and creative job. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, the quality of our programs and faculty. Our faculty are all what we call professors of practice, which means that they are all professionals within the fields in which they teach. So our students learn from people who are actually doing the jobs that you are taking classes about. So instead of just learning from somebody who's been at a university for 50 years and is teaching you out of a textbook, you're going to learn from an actual current professional. We also offer our students a tremendous amount of student support. We are very much committed to our students to not only getting into the school, but also to graduating from the school. And so we offer you multiple layers of support so that you can be successful in our programs. And we are also priced a little bit differently. And by differently, I mean lower than the rest of the university. And we do that on purpose. That is part of our commitment to working adults. We know that you have a lot of different commitments that you're balancing. And so hope we'll talk about that a little bit further in the webinar. So a little bit about online learning at the School of Professional Advancement. So we were in the online space way before the pandemic. We have been in the online space for about 6 or 7 years. And we are what we feel like differentiators in the field, meaning that our programs are not just to sit in your house in your pajamas and click through a PowerPoint and maybe write a paper or answer a discussion board. Our online courses are not only courses where you will have to log in like we are now and have online classes. So there are actual classes that are interactive with a faculty member and class members, but also our online materials are interactive in the ways that they have videos where you'll have to interact with the material. We have simulations for many of our programs where you will actually go through a guided simulation. You will have opportunities to work in small groups where you will get to learn and meet your other classmates, collaborative opportunities with faculty and with students. And you'll also be able to demonstrate your knowledge of the material in a multitude of different ways, creating videos, discussion boards, papers, and interactive projects. You'll have opportunities for guest speakers. It is a very different online space. All of our online materials are created by in-house educators who are SoPA employees who are called instructional designers. These are master's level educators who, instead of wanting to be teachers, they are curriculum designers, and they specialize in designing curriculum for the online space. It is a very different and very high-end curriculum that our students tend to enjoy very much. A little bit of data about our online. These numbers are actually a little bit old, so they're lower than we probably could report to you. We have over 13,000 students who have completed over 30,000 hours of online coursework. That's how we get so good at this, is that we've done it so much. We also specifically train our faculty to teach in the online space. We've trained over 200 faculty members, and we've actually won national awards for the quality of our online coursework. So we are recognized in our field as leaders in this space. Next, please. So for an example of how our faculty are actually do what they teach. So in our paralegal studies program, Patricia Betancourt is one of our professors. She is a litigation expert. She's an attorney and she teaches part-time in our program. Bo Boudreau teaches some of our English and our writing courses. He's actually an author and a poet. In our kinesiology program, Tyra Mitchell is the assistant director of that program. She also teaches. She has her doctorate in physical therapy and is the former chief of physical therapy at Ochsner here in New Orleans. And Ralph Russo, who is the director of our cyber and IT program. He's a former NYPD officer, but he actually helped the New York Police Department set up their counterintelligence and cyber programs after 9/11. So all of these folks have actually done or are currently doing what it is that they teach about. That's a very different classroom experience. So when you're reading materials or you're having a classroom discussion and you're like, wait a minute, we just read a chapter and I want to know, what does that look like in the real world? How would that really work if I were in an office or if I was in a classroom or if I was working in a hospital? Like, how would that work? all of your professors can actually tell you. So we specifically make sure that our curriculum is current to real life workforce right now so that our students are prepared to leave our program and get a job. Next, please. So the degrees, the bachelor's degrees that we offer at the School of Professional Advancement are on the screen. These are all bachelor's degrees. They're in digital design, digital media and marketing, exercise science, general legal studies, health and wellness, homeland security, humanities, which is almost like a create your own major. The humanities are like English, history, communication, a lot of classes where you do reading and writing, those sorts of things, art history, those sorts of courses. IT, public relations, social sciences, which also is a little bit of a make your own major, but that focuses on the social sciences, psychology, sociology, political science, those types of courses. Organizational behavior and management studies, which is a business degree, and human resources, which is also a business degree. We also offer certificates. These are courses that are not an actual degree, but it's a smaller number of courses, usually 5 to 6 courses for students who want to come back to school, gain in-depth knowledge in a specific area without having to commit to getting an entire bachelor's degree. So if any of the professional certificates look interesting to you, you can come and get specific knowledge in these areas. Our post-baccalaureate certificates, or PBCs, actually require that you already have a bachelor's degree. You will need that as a prerequisite, but you can come back and get a small, in-depth certificate in early childhood or secondary ed, K through 12 education, teaching English learners. That's for folks who want to go back and do teaching. Or if you're interested in graphic design, homeland security studies, or interactive design, or our paralegal program, those are actually post-baccalaureate certificates, and they do require a bachelor's degree, but they're not quite as extensive as a full bachelor's. One of the things that we offer to our students, because we know that many of our students have extensive backgrounds as professionals, oftentimes they come to our school having a lot of the knowledge that are part of our degree programs. So we don't want you to have to take classes where you already know all the information and you've actually been a professional and could maybe even teach the class for us because you have so much knowledge. So we allow our students to get up to 24 credits, which is essentially 3 classes in areas where you're already an expert. It's called credit for prior learning. There is a process that you need to go through with your academic advisor and with a faculty member who's in charge of this program to demonstrate that you already have the knowledge of the classes that you're trying to get credit for. But if you can demonstrate that you have that, we'll give you credit for those classes. And this is a way for you to save time towards graduation as well as money. It's a savings of tuition. So up to 24 credits. Like I said, that's 8 classes towards your degree. So that's a great way to move a little faster. And then one of the things that we always like to highlight is our student success and support. So what another differentiator we feel like is different from our school, from other schools, is that each student has 2 dedicated advisors, an academic advisor as well as a faculty advisor. We also have our own career advising in the School of Professional Advancement. We don't share our career advisor with any other part of the school. And this person can help you with putting your resume together, help put your LinkedIn page together, as well as help you practice for job interviews, and also look at your prior work experience with your current degree and help you think of ways that you can package yourself to be the most interesting candidate as you apply for new jobs. Of course, the other thing that we also offer is with a Tulane degree, you get access to other Tulane alumni, and they can help you get jobs also. Because after all, that is the point of going back to school, is that most people want to get either a different job or take the next level up in the current career that they're in. Okay, I am going to let Hope take it from here.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for sacrificing some time to be with us this evening. I am the admission counselor, and I'm also an alumni with the School of Professional Advancement. I earned my undergraduate and my graduate degree in Homeland Security. So you being here this evening is a sacrifice that I can relate to. So when I decided I wanted to go back to school, some of the things that came up, some major things that came up for me was like, how do I afford this? Do I have the time? And does all of this make sense? Well, as Sheila say, our online classes make this flexible and doable. But in terms of affordability, our price point at SoPA is much lower than when we compare to other universities. Our tuition rate is $596 per credit hour. And that is equivalent of, well, the majority of our classes are going to be 3 credits. So also our fees that are assessed on top of our tuition are very low, and that's intentional, just because we want to make this affordable to working adults returning to school and advancing their career. So for me, it was like, how do I pay for this, right? Or how does all this pull together in terms of finances? So the School of Professional Advancement has established several scholarships so that it will offset the tuition costs. But then there are, on the screen, as you notice, the federal grants and federal loans. And through the financial aid department, you will be qualified through that department. But some of the scholarships that we offer, if you are a teacher or if you are in the military, or if you are retired, if you have benefits, if you are a first responder, police, firemen, you are eligible for the 20% discount. We also have the Phi Theta Kappa, if you're familiar with PTK, and there is the Minority Serving Scholarship. So we have several scholarships in place to help offset the tuition costs. And as Sheila mentioned, the 24 credit hours for work and life experience, we have a staff member that evaluates your experiences and determines if they're equivalent to college credits. So many of you probably have talked to me or are talking to me now throughout the application process. It's different for everyone, but one of the materials may be different depending on the program you are applying for. But for each application, we do require a government issued ID. That could be a driver license, state ID, or passport. It's a $40 undergraduate application. And I've sent someone a note about that. Because you're attending tonight, your application fee will be waived, and Ms. Sheila will mention that further, but I just wanted to put that out there because I know someone paid the application fee today. Also, we require transcripts, official transcripts. The process allows you to submit an unofficial transcript. Once an admission decision is made, then we require an official transcript sent directly from the institutions or universities that you have attended. Throughout this entire process, I'm a phone call, email away, and I'll be glad to answer questions and walk you through it. So all of the applications require different materials, some of the same, but these deadlines are the same for everyone. And it's very important We're approaching the spring semester, so the deadline is January 1st. And the early enrollment scholarship is December 1st, which is another scholarship that helps offset the tuition costs. So sometimes applicants will wait close to that time, just kind of assuming I have time. But when we consider what materials are required, sometimes additional things are required and we have to like go back and say, look, we need this. So just to make sure you're giving yourself the ample amount of time for your to submit your documents and your application to be read and you receive an admission decision, I recommend strongly not waiting to the deadline or the week before the deadline. For me, it's kind of like just get it in, you have your decision and you can work your schedule and your financings around that in advance.
Thank you, Hope. So my contact information is on the screen in front of you. If you have any questions, please, please, please email me. Don't call. I'm very rarely in front of my phone, but I'm really always in front of my email in some form or fashion. And I love answering students' questions. For those of you who have already applied and paid your application fee, please email me and I can refund you the application fee because we offer you that for attending this webinar. So we can go ahead and refund that to you. I did see a question in the chat. We do require transcripts for certificate programs. Yes, we do. Because you can transfer from a certificate program into a degree program and have those credits transfer over towards your degree. And so we treat it as if you're applying to the degree program. We'll give another minute. Is there anybody else who has questions? Feel free to drop them in the chats. We always like to give people a minute and truthfully, if you'd prefer sort of a one-on-one conversation or just an email conversation back and forth, I'm happy to engage that way as well. Hope is also available for emails also. All right, well, I do not see anybody else dropping questions in the chat. So sgold@tulane.edu, that is me. Please email me if you have any questions. And also, once again, like Hope said, if you're applying to our program and if you have any questions about the application, do not hesitate. It's what we do all day. We're not gonna, people get nervous, like, oh, we're gonna put a little note on your application that you didn't know how to like upload something. We do not do that. We want to work with our students. We want to have you come join us. So please reach out. And we hope that we will be seeing applications from you all very soon and that we'll be welcoming you to Tulane as a student. So thank you very much for taking time out of your evening in the middle of the week, and we hope to welcome you to Tulane very soon. Thank you, everybody.